It's a beautiful day to go two-wheel driving in the snow. And now that I stop, we're gonna be all skitty. Oh yeah. Alright, apologies, you are going to have to listen to the whine of the freaking alternator that will eventually get to the shop. But I decided I had to go to work today, because last week sucked so much I was off Wednesday to calm the heck down. And then when I got calmed down, I took off Friday because it was also snowing and icy underneath. Probably still is icy underneath. It wasn't bad when I drove yesterday. Most of it had melted out, except for, you know, these patches in the woods. And I drove to town yesterday, even though I clocked out for work just to get groceries. And then I fell back, so I'm like, I should go get the PC. And then I'm like, no, we will force ourselves to go out of the house, because after 4 days of being in the house with the snow, even with taking naps, which I get picked on for still, yeah, not much to do. Or there's plenty to do, and I don't want to do any of it. Unfinished projects, stuff for the house we should be fixing, all that exciting adult crap that you're just like, yep, I just want to sleep through all this. Hello, depression. And yeah, it's my fault for getting super excited last Monday about like 60-degree weather and being like, yes, winter is over. I never learn. As they say at the end of Mr. Brightside, I never learn. I never learn that Michigan always tricks us. I put away my fur scarf. I put away my boots because I got tired of walking around in these big old clodhopper all-weather boots. Everybody else was starting to wear sneakers, and well, if you see some of the kids, they were walking around in shorts. I'm like, built different. But yeah, I got excited, transferred my insoles to my sneakers, and did that for a few days, and then we get this again. On the plus side, we got a free reminder of why my husband didn't want to go to the UP, because we've been watching the UP stuff. That's like, okay, yeah, no, you were right. Yeah, I don't like snow that much. Yeah. And it's around this time of year where I'm like, yeah, I'm done with snow. I know, technically, it keeps going through March, and it did that back when I was a kid downstate, so it's not like I should be surprised, but I swear every year it just comes out of the blue and it's like, hey, it's gonna be snowy again, and cold. Ha ha ha. And it doesn't help that, like, everybody, well, we're watching, what do you call it? IndyCar racing, because we can't watch F1 anymore, because F1 decided to move to Apple TV, and we're not going to pay for that. And we're especially not going to pay for it after, like, my husband's been watching the highlights, and I ended up catching, like, a little bit of something over his shoulder on Facebook. He's like, yeah, no, there were, like, a whole bunch of guys whose car couldn't start at the front. And then there's the whole, we can't really race because we have to keep the batteries charged, or some nonsense. I'm like, just stop it, FIA. I get that all the world elites want us to switch to battery power, but this is lame. This is lame for racing. Just make it go back to internal combustion engines and you know, take off. I understand wanting to be competitive, but I just want to watch a no-holds-barred race again. Like, screw competitivity. Let's just watch the no-holds-barred race. But yeah. Anyway, why did I get so mad last week? It ended up growing out of our usual problem at work, which I keep hoping the new boss will fix, which is that our dean occasionally just communicates to one or two of us and somehow thinks that we all talk to each other, or by osmosis we will suddenly know what all is going on. Which is not the case. Like, our new boss is getting delayed and was supposed to start this week, but yeah, she was like, I don't want to move in winter, and I'm like, I cannot blame you, especially when it's snowing like this. The only plus is you're from a northern state, so at least we don't have to go through the whole shock of, do you know what snow looks like? Do you know what heavy snow looks like? But yeah, she's like, no, we gotta delay another 2 weeks, and then this lovely storm has happened, so I'm kind of like, maybe it'll be longer. I don't know. My other coworker's like, what do you mean you're thinking June? I'm like, I've been thinking June since we said we hired her. We haven't made the university-wide announcement, so there's that. But yeah, 2 people got, like, told that her stuff's getting pushed back, and yeah. And we start telling the rest of us. I was surprised, like, of the 2 people that got told, they didn't end up telling, like, the clique that gets all the information, because they were all like, what? And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, no, we got told. Well, one of us got told. If it wasn't for our, like, one staff person who does, like, a little bit of everything and gets told or listens for nearly everything, I would not be so well informed. Because I'm like, that's the plus of you. You're actually, like, somewhat neutral, and you can go between the two, you know, people who function and the click and stuff and pick up stuff. But yeah, she's like, the only reason I was brought into it is because we had to, you know, do something that required me to do something. I'm like, yeah, I know, but if they told everybody, they would have found out that, like, telling the two people isn't necessarily good enough, because it does impact the rest of us. And in my case, I got super angry because we just started doing something that actually was something that I used to be responsible for. I don't know if I necessarily continue to be responsible for it, but I used to be. That's another case of, like, I was responsible before the pandemic, but nobody remembers because only about half of us were here then, and I am, like, the only remaining member of my department, besides the staff person I just mentioned, was working part-time and then got promoted full-time just before the pandemic, and yeah. So, in terms of knowledge memory, I'm, like, the only one that has any up here at tech services, so I'm like... But... yeah, after thinking on Thursday or Wednesday, I'm like, maybe I should just calm this all down. Like, does it really matter? I need to work on that. And I don't know if it was because my menstrual blood's been backed up 2 months, I was super angry, or because that's freaking me out. But I'm not pregnant, at least as far as biology goes, as I know. But yeah, this whole communication breakdown issue, and we only talk to one person, is really freaking annoying. I'm kind of used to it because I've spent 11 years here, and unfortunately that seems to be the way of things. If nothing else, I over-communicate because IT departments for years have always been dinged for not communicating what's going on. So I try to over-communicate and over-explain, invite people to things, and whatever. I can't make people listen, I can't make people pay attention, and I am not your boss, so the amount of care I can really take about things is pretty limited. So I do my best. But yeah, that survey ticked me off and got me all chuffed, and then something else started breaking. Well, it didn't start breaking. It's a result of a process we had to let IT take over for a patron load, and now it's causing interesting issues in Melcat. And it's not entirely IT's fault because they took it over. It's also partly the university's fault because now they're like, oh, this college that we pretended was a separate institution for however many years, we're now going to really, really become the same institution, even though we said we were, and all your branding is going to go away, and all your student accounts are going to be converted to the main university's accounts, and yeah. So now we got to figure out if our sister campus is now just the other city campus, and then they become a branch instead of being their own library in Melcat, and it's just a nightmare headache I don't even want to go into. I'm just like, yep, this is why I don't want to do Circ. And they're like, well, you said you want to do more behind-the-scenes stuff, and you didn't mind doing system stuff. And it's like, yeah, yes, but for whatever reason, Circ hurts my brain. Not as bad as acquisitions, but it's like, how complicated can things get? Very. Just come to the library and borrow some books. Ain't that dang simple. Ain't that dang simple. So, yeah. Mel. And I still haven't heard back from IT because I did write them like a long detailed thing that was copied a bunch of people. So I'm like, I don't know how this works. I barely know how this works. Here are people who actually are at the affected library and other people who know how Mel works, mainly because they've been doing the public library side of Mel, so they have some idea of how it works. Whereas I'm just kind of like, yep, I send bib records. That's what I do. I publish my bibs. And that's about it. But yeah, that whole thing breaking. But I looked up the IT person contact. Unfortunately, they have an unlocked Outlook calendar, so I could see they were interviewing for more people in IT, which I totally agree with and hope works out for them. But I'm also kind of worried because it was like, if you're not hiring someone to replace someone who's left or is going to leave IT, are you? Please say no. Please say you're actually hiring more people. You're actually like getting your brain on straight university and realizing that if you want us to teach more online and more hybrid, you actually need more IT people, not fewer. I don't know. I know a lot of this is that AI boom where it's like, you can automate everything. We don't need people. And it's like, yeah, you kind of do need people because sometimes the thing breaks. And you also need someone to know what to do when the thing breaks. And granted, there's going to be fewer and fewer of us who are that person going forward in the 21st century, but you're still going to need some of us. Anyway. What else? I don't know. I catch up on all the things, although I did leaf through the email. And fortunately, nobody needed me. That's usually how I am. I'm like, if you need me, I'll be unconscious. Please don't need me. Please don't need me. Please don't. And it's helpful that, like, the 2 staff people I work with, 3 if you count the one that kind of fluxes in between 2 people, they all know what to do with themselves, and they know how to do their jobs, and they know how to do all the things, so as I keep going, you should know my job. Because really all I have that's different than yours is lots of extra paperwork, extra money for said paperwork, and you're also supposed to, like, publish and do presentations, which I haven't done in a few years just because I don't feel like I have anything really to add these days. Which is the other reason why I'm depressed, because I'm like, I got nothing else to say in this lifetime. I'm good. Like, I don't need to keep going. Other than the fact that, like, I love my husband, but otherwise I'm kind of like, professionally, I feel like I've shot my wad. I don't know. We'll see what happens when the new boss comes, because I have lots of hope. And I read the horoscope about the exciting, what is it? I forget what the heck is going into and out of Pisces, but it's supposed to be a transformation. Anyway, I don't know if we'll still see the barnacled vehicle, but I will turn this off. But I will give you a quick update. The short I posted with the vehicle that was barnacled had it moved all of our brake week. And actually, I think I can kind of still see it over there in the parking lot. But I don't want to start scanning everybody's license plate numbers, so we'll stop here. Wish me a better day.